Hey guys, welcome back to DDRM. Another update on progress on the 69 Mustang. So we got quite a bit done. So the client actually came up. His name is Wyatt. Awesome kid. So he came up because he wanted to help me put the motor in and learn, you know, the process of doing this. So we actually got the motor in. So recap, this is a small block 302 that I had the Hot Rod Company built. It's a complete roller motor, aluminum heads. It's pretty nice. It's maybe 385-ish horse, but it's pretty snappy. And then, you know, you guys saw the front complete anodized black, billet, CVF front accessory. I like their stuff, you know, compressor, everything. For powder coated blue Ford Racing valve covers. I had them paint the block to match. These are total control products, adjustable motor mounts, and I needed these. These are nice. It was allowed us to kind of move the motor. You have almost 3 inches of forward and backward adjustability, and I really like them. They're nice, and you know, we had to tilt it and get the tranny. The tranny was kind of a pain. I won't get into that. There was a couple issues, but Fred Brown, you know, made it right, and we got everything taken care of, fixed, and had to install the tranny, then take out the tranny and get something fixed, and then put the tranny back in. But it's nice, man. It's like I said, respect to Fred Brown Racing trannies and stuff, and it's all good. It was something minor, but it was you know, held a lot of stuff up. But so we're good. So we got that in. That's the 4R70W AOD, electronically controlled. So I got to mount the controller inside and then run the wiring and stuff. A lot of the wiring is ran, as you can see. All this stuff's already in looms. I just have to basically, I wanted to get the motor in and the tranny in. I've been doing the heater lines. So the heater lines are done. The fuel line is done. It's all, you know, -6. Some of the other stuff is done, like the alternator wire over the mega fuse block. That's done. The power steering lines are done. This is a remote reservoir. I just have to tweak them a little bit. I got holders like these. These are really nice, these clamp style holders. I have them for the -6 lines. They were just out of them, so I had to order them. So they should be here a few days. And then we'll get those on there and clamped, and then actually secure all this down and stuff, you know, where it needs to go and everything like that. I just kind of have a zip tie just to kind of know the route that the wires are going to go. I just made the -10 line. I have to actually, you know, put it on a vise and just finish tightening down the end fittings. These things are a pain in the butt, these -10s. Yeah, they trying to thread these into the AN fitting with the tool and a vise, it's fine, but it just ruins your hands. So, you know, throttle, cable bracket. I'm waiting for the bracket for the back that goes on the back studs. Boss Cars is going to get me that, but it's coming along. It's buttoned up. I'm about ready to install the headers now that the tranny is back in and buttoned up and the starter's buttoned up. The tranny mount was also an issue, even though, yes, bless CJ Pony Parts, I've got, you know, a few parts from them and stuff, and it was a tranny mount kit for the AOD 470W, but it doesn't quite fit. So, you know, luckily I have Stan here by me, and he came over, and so he's going to modify that tranny mount a little bit and just make it correct, so we can just put it up, lines up with the holes, and it just wasn't lining up with the holes that are in the boss in the underfloor support where the tranny mount goes, the reinforced. So it just wasn't lining up correctly, so he's going to make it so it lines up correctly, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm in love with these valve covers. I really like them. We did the air cleaner to match. It's the Sniper 2 system. So lot of good progress. So now it's just wiring. I'm going to start like running some of the wiring and stuff for the Sniper 2, get that situated, and then these are the AC lines, so I got to make those. So those will come, because the headers are like about here, so you can't really run anything underneath. So you kind of have to come, it's like the wiring runs here, and then I'll have to run like the AC lines will kind of have to run around here, and they'll come, and you got like a number 6 goes all the way to the hard line that, you know, exits out underneath the battery tray. So you got a number 6 run from there to there. You'll have a number 8 will go from here to one side of the compressor, and this side compressor will go to the number 10. So still got to do that, but I have, like I said, my own hydraulic crimper, so I should be able to get that done fairly nice. I did it on the Camaro and stuff, and it turned out really nice. And then button up this wiring. So I said we still got, you know, everything over there. Still got, I'll end up losing like almost all of that wiring for the relay fans and stuff, because the connection's so close. I mean, this is literally right next to the power distribution module from Sniper. So I'll make it nice and neat stuff, and, you know, put it in a black loom and stuff like that. But I want to get the AC lines and stuff done first, because they go underneath the battery tray, and then that way I know I still have to make a positive and negative battery cable and get that ran. I already have a battery, it's Optima. Then I'll start buttoning up some other stuff. The rear shelf, we got that modified. I had stand for 6x9s, so he just did a template and cut these out so I can mount them nice and neat. There's a cardboard piece that'll come up and fit up here, and it fits underneath the rubber that holds on the rear glass. So once I get that piece, I'll cut the hole, and then I'm going to have that covered in the material that we're doing on the inside. And then that way I can mount this rear shelf permanently, and then I can put the cardboard on. That way when it mounts, you mount that, and then the speakers mount through everything. And then it's package tray and holds it nice and neat, and then you can actually from the ass end here be all buttoned up. So the sail panels will go in. I have those finally. I just have to install the lights in them, that, and then they'll go in and kind of glue. They have some extra material that kind of glues down right here on the inside. It folds over the back lip where the back window goes, and then once you do that, you just kind of put some old windlace on it, and it holds it. And then when you get ready to install the window, you take that out, and then you glue the window in, and actually, you know, glues over the top of that, stuff like that. So, but not bad. So then, you know, dash is all done. Gauges are all in. So there's all the nice automated gauges. I did it. Column is in. Gas pedal, brakes are bled. The e-brake's almost done. I just have to button up the connection underneath. And then over there on the passenger side firewall, I have to mount, like I said, the tranny controller, and then poke that wiring through the dash, underneath the dash, run it. Client did want a center console, so I ordered a brand new center console with the correct wiring. So I actually have that. So I got to fit that, mount the shifter, and then they have a specific AOD rod that goes on there to the shifter, just, you know, to activate the park reverse neutral drive, and then everything else is electronic. Or you can, you know, shift it manually with that. But so I got to get that in, and then order to set the center console over, and then fit it, drill my holes in the tunnel. And then that way, once the carpet goes in, you know, you just take a little awl, poke it through, and you'll be able to locate everything. And then the center console gets attached actually to the floor with screws that come in your interior trim kit. Wheels and tires. Well, then that turned into an issue. So these are 17/8 up front, and they're American Racing, kind of a montage of the stock 69 Mustang wheels, which actually look really nice. So these are 17/8, and the rears are 17/9s. Well, when we ordered these, they told me the offset was correct, and it's not. And I gave them the correct offset. So not a big deal, but so they're going to take these back, and they actually are going to build a set with the correct offset. So it's like 17/9 with like a +32, so it's almost up a 6-inch backspace in order to center it in the wheel well opening and utilize it as a 17/9 with the 255 Continentals. And the front's fairly easy. It's a 17/8 with a 4.5 backspace. So that's good. I just got that reordered. today, so it takes about 4 or 5 weeks to make, but they'll go ahead and pick these up and credit everything back and stuff. But that's kind of the progress right now. I just said got some few things to button up. Like I said, the steering column's all hooked up. The Borgeson box actually is really nice. It's a quick ratio with an IDIT column, so only required an 11/16 by 3/4 by 3/4 by 36 rag joint, and that's all it took to hook up to the box. It's really nice, so I really like that combination. And then I actually have a really nice vintage wood wheel with the finger grips and stuff that, you know, the client picked out. Is really nice and stuff. So that's kind of the progress. It's looking really good. So next up, you know, headers, and keep on going. So stay tuned, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next review.